I'd like to give you one more video on Sautille Bowing, the rapid spiccato or uncontrolled spiccato stroke. I'm convinced that you can't really do this stroke right until you have some sense of finger flexibility. So watch my video on Cole, the last one on string crossings. I think I talk about some different ways you can exercise that. But see, the thing about this stroke is the traditional way to learn it is to lift these two fingers and do a tremolo with your wrist, and you start above the middle and you work towards the balance point until it wants to leave the string. But I found that doing finger flexibility with the first two fingers is a little harder than doing it with the first and the third. It's a little easier this way. So this is maybe not as commonly taught, but it's certainly worth giving a shot. So what I'd like you to do is lift your 2 and 4. I want you to put your bow maybe right above the middle, and I want you to raise your wrist a little bit so that you're going to do this stroke from here. Now work towards the balance point until you hear it go. Okay? Now look at where it's bouncing in your stick. Put your pinky down because it's your lifting finger. Put it back down and see if you can just make it bounce immediately. Regarding the pinky, if you watch many professionals do sautille, they will often have that pinky off. The second wouldn't be off. But now, anytime you're doing that type of stroke, if you have a retake, a lift, or 2 downs or whatever, you're going to have to put that pinky back down. If you don't, your thumb is going to have to hold on to it, and I think that's probably not appropriate. Don't squeeze that thumb, it'll probably collapse on you. So one way to learn that, go back to what I'm teaching you here, where you lift 2 and 4, you find the spot where it goes, you're doing it from the hand, you have some finger flexibility in there. Remember that it's not an action in itself. I don't push them out, I just let them flop. Okay? But then you're going to do 8 fast strokes, and then you're going to do 1 long one. So, and then put your pinky down, do a retake, retake. Once you can do that, then maybe add your your second finger, and do the same exercise. Alright, so where would that be useful? Well, I was thinking about it, and as chartist, if I'm doing right here, I just did the long note, then I have to go over to the E string, right? So you have an example where you do the long, and you have a string crossing, and you get right back. So, eventually you'd want to put this finger down, I think, but, you wouldn't have to, I guess. What you want, though, is that sound, that popping. Someone wrote in and called it popcorn. So in my first video I told you to do 8 to a bow, and then 4, then 2, and then finally 1. So 1 per finger. And then you have to get through string crossings, and then you have to get through shifts, maybe 2-octave scale, then 3-octave scale. It's a lot to do, but try this new technique and see if you can't have a real nice loose finger motion on top of the wrist motion. Remember to raise your hand a little bit, start above middle, and work your way towards the frog until it wants to go. Understand? Anyway, that'll be my final video on sautille, and I hope it helped. Thanks.